Hello, welcome to Bob's Dungeon. My name's Bob. I'll be your host. This is my second video in my look at Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition. When 4th edition came out, I bought several books beyond just the core rulebooks. My friends and I, we were real excited about playing 4th edition. But by the time I had read up enough on the core rulebooks to actually run the game, my friends had looked up a lot of stuff online and decided that they didn't want to play the game at all. So we wound up moving up on to Pathfinder. Like many people, when 4th edition came out, they wound up playing either earlier editions of Dungeons & Dragons or moving on to different games entirely. That's just how it all wound up. So let's get on with this. To play this game, you're going to need a copy of all 3 core rulebooks, which consist of the Player's Handbook, which we talked about in the last video, the Dungeon Master's Guide, which we will talk about in this video, and the Monster Manual, which we will also talk about in this video. You will also need a full set of dice, which consist of a 20-sided die, a 12-sided die, preferably 2 10-sided dice for rolling both percentiles and tens, an 8-sided die, a 6-sided die, and a 4-sided die. The Dungeon Master's Guide has 221 pages and a copyright of 2008. It was published by Wizards of the Coast. The artwork in this book, like the one before it, I think is just amazing. So let's just go ahead and look at that artwork right now. As I've said before, I really enjoy the artwork in this book. Some of the pictures are small, like this one, while others take up half the page and others take up the entire page. The beginning of this book gives you some instructions on how to run your game, your gaming sessions, dealing with problem players, players that don't show up, house rules, stuff like that. And this book also has pretty much everything you need to run and maintain a game as a game master. In the combat section, it gives you a list of the different roles that monsters in your game will have. It's like the player characters, monsters have roles too. The roles for the monsters, however, and other NPCs consist of artillery, the brute, controller, lurker, the minion, which is kind of weird, the skirmisher, the soldier, the elite monster, the solo monster, and the leader. All those are pretty self-explanatory. The weird part about the minion, though, is minions are meant to be a mass foot soldier type of thing. Each one has 1 hit point. So basically, if you do any damage at all, you kill it. And they're used for like mass attacks, mass mob attack. So to give you that hacking through the hordes of monsters to get to the main bad guy. There is a section in here on how to build your experience to reward your players, how to build a treasure, some notes in here on some magic items and stuff. The back of the book is referred to as the Game Master's Toolkit, and it includes stuff like templates that you can apply to different monsters to have something different for players to engage with. You can also apply templates to your player characters, so there's something else for them. It gives you rules, well, optional rules on using monsters from the monster manual as player character races, creating new races, classes, that kind of thing. It also gives you some variants on things you can do with the rules. Also in this book, there is a setting for you to start your players in called Fallcrest. Fallcrest is a town, and it gives you several adventures that happen in and around the town for you to get started with your player characters, if you wish to use that. So let's go ahead and move on to the monster manual. The monster manual has 287 pages and a copyright of 2008. It was also published by Wizards of the Coast. The artwork, again, I have to say, I love the artwork in this book. So let's go ahead and look at the artwork. Like the other two books, the artwork in this book is really good. Each creature in this book gets its own picture. Some creatures even have various types of that creature. So they've included the various types of the creature with its picture. I've just included a few pictures of creatures to show what's in this book. Every monster in this book has its own picture, and sometimes when there's more than one type of a creature, they'll double up on in the artwork, showing the different types of that creature to give you an idea of what it all looks like. This book is not a complete and total list of everything, of all the monsters you can use, because there are other monster manuals for this edition that have even more monsters, and other supplements that have more monsters. The back of the book has a listing of some of the more humanoid races and how you could use them as player character races and so forth. And that's really about it on this book. Like the other editions, I guess you could, if you really, really wanted to, run the game without the monster manual and just have them encounter the different races that you find in the player's handbook. But like I've said before, why would you want to? It's a fantasy game, and you'll want those fantasy monsters in your game for your players to encounter. So in the end, when I play a character in this game, out of curiosity stuff, I think I would like to try it once, know what it really feels like to play this game, because I never got the chance to actually play 4th edition. Would I run 4th edition? At this point, I'm kind of beyond it. 5th edition is what I've been running. And there are other games I'd like to play. It's probably not. Would I recommend this edition of Dungeons & Dragons? going to have to say no. When there's other editions out that are way better than this one, I would recommend one of those before I recommended this one. 4th edition has some good ideas in it. It has some good stuff. And I don't want to offend anybody that prefers this edition of Dungeons and Dragons. But there's also a lot that they fumbled and got wrong. I think that, in the end, outweighs a lot of the stuff they got right. My friend, when 4th edition came out, he told me that he considered Pathfinder the true 4th edition. And I don't know if I agree with him on that, but, you know, everybody had their opinion. Myself, I believe if 4th edition had gone the route that the Star Wars game had gone with their Saga edition of Star Wars, we would probably still be playing 4th edition now instead of 5th edition. But that's my opinion. But anyway, that's really all I got to say about 4th edition right now. So, thank you for joining me at this brief look at what you can find inside the books of 4th edition. And hopefully you'll join me again next time when we'll look at something else. Bye.